Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So it's the end of December, which means it's time for a December reading wrap up. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. So the first book is Love Light Farms. I was really enjoying this. This was a solid 4-star read, 4.5 stars even read. I absolutely love it. Kicking my feet, just giggling. I was overlooking a few little things here and there though. It was just really blatantly obvious the main male character really did like her and she just was not getting it. Like, I feel like it went beyond just like, okay, she has some self-esteem issues. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why she's not seeing it. I feel like it went beyond that. It was just stupid. But I was enjoying the rest of the book. So I was like, okay, I'll just overlook it, whatever. And, but then that third act breakup hit. And let me tell you, that was the worst one I've ever read in my life. And I don't like that trope anyway. And oh my gosh, I've never been so mad at a book in my life. Well, that's not true. But just about the worst. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start on this. The miscommunication is just completely forced. It doesn't seem genuine at all. It's so dumb. The reason why the third act breakup happens, and it makes me so mad. It ruins the whole rest of the book for me entirely. And I think I ended up rating it 3-star because of just that third act breakup was so bad. My recommendation, if you ever want to read it, is stop at, I think it's like page 270 or 200, like it's something like that. I can't remember what chapter it is, but stop there, skip everything until the epilogue. Would have stayed like a 4-star read from that. Like, oh gosh, the whole end of the book was just, oh gosh, it frustrated me so much. But luckily my next read was really good after that to make up for it, and that was the next book in the Emily Wilde series. I loved this so much. Oh my gosh, 5-star read. 5-star read. No notes. Oh my gosh. I really liked the first book in the series, but I think this one, it's like she took the criticisms from her first book and then fixed it or something. Because my main issue with the first book was I felt like the romance was kind of forced and felt kind of weird. And here, it makes a little more sense. Like you can kind of see why they like each other now. And it seems so forced. And then on top of that, it was like, the way I would describe this also is sort of like, you know how when you're watching a TV show and the first season, all the characters, like it's all new and everything, but when you watch the second season of the show, all the characters are more comfortable with themselves. They're all they're just more comfortable with their characters and everything like that. That's kind of how this felt, was everything was more comfortable. I keep saying that over and over, but that's how it feels. It's a nice little cozy fantasy. It's how it's supposed to feel. And this just really delivered on that cozy feeling too. The adventure was nice and well done. The mystery aspect was also well done. I think it wasn't too obvious, but it wasn't too easy to figure out. It was just, oh gosh, chef kiss. 5-star read for sure. So after a 5-star read, you are always cursed to read something that is pretty not 5-star afterwards. And for me, that would be reading the Under the Mistletoe, like novella series or whatever. I'm gonna count them all as individual books. Because they're all by different authors for one. The first one by Ali Hazelwood was pretty good. I did think it jumped around a little bit too much for a novella. Like if it was a full-length book, it probably would have been as messy feeling. But that's my main criticism for that one. And then the second one, it was just insta-love hard. But was it insta-love because it was insta-love, or was it insta-love because it was a novella and so they didn't have time to develop it? I don't know. And then the third one, I DNF'd for a long time because it was just the worst pile of crap I've ever read. And it still is. Like, I finally finished it, and it still is one of the worst things I've ever read. I have nothing good to say. Just nothing. Well, I'll admit I did like seeing that the characters were a little older, or a little closer to my age than the average rom-com book or whatever. But they had them act like immature children, so I don't think that really counts. Just, it was awful. And the other ones were just, I barely remember the other ones, other than like some notes I wrote down while I was reading them because I knew I'd forget them because they weren't great. All of them, I would say the author was trying to write a full-length book concept into a novella, and it just didn't work. So the next book that I read was The Au Pair Affair by Tessa Bailey. She did one of the novellas that I read that I mentioned earlier, the one that had like the insta-love and everything. I really did like that novella. I just think it was more of a novel being turned into a novella kind of thing. And I wish she had saved that concept and those characters for a real novel, because I really did like those characters. And so I thought maybe I would like another book of hers. And so I got this from the library. I read the first book, and the first book in the series, and I liked it a good bit. And this book is, the main characters are the best friends from the main character of the first book. So in this one, it's about a hockey player who's a little older and has a teenage daughter who just got I think shared custody or full custody of or something like that. For some reason, she's just now living in his house for some reason. I don't really remember the details why. And he needs a nanny. And so in the first book, he hires the female main character to be the nanny and be like a live-in nanny. And then they get to know each other and fall in love. There really is not much going on. One of those things about this book is there's a lot going on and nothing going on all at once. Because there's a bunch of tropes and micro-tropes all whirling around in there all at once. But still nothing really happens in the story other than just them falling in love. A lot of good romances have something other than just the romance to hold it up. And I think that's why romantasy is so big, is because there's always a second story to hold up also the romance. If you're into that sort of thing where you just want just romance and nothing else, then this is probably going to be good for you. But if you want something other than just romance where there's some kind of other story going on, then this may not be for you. Next was another 5-star read with The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I loved this so much. Okay, so this is about a struggling writer, and she gets contracted to help a famous writer rewrite a screenplay for a romantic comedy. And while rewriting it and working on everything, and her dealing with her family drama and her family problems, and him dealing with some of his issues, they fall in love, and it is adorable and sweet, and I love it. And this is one of the books where it's I honestly was not entirely sure it was going to end happy, and so I was pretty stressed near the end there. Also, there is a third act breakup, which is really annoying to me. I do not like those, but it's played off well to where it does lend to the story some, and so I will allow it. And so this is one of the few times where a third act breakup won't take off half a star or something from my rating from it. I still really like this a lot. I binge read this in a night. I stayed up all night. I pulled an all-nighter to read this, so that should tell you something. With this one. Also, this is the first book where there were actual lines that I wanted to underline and highlight and everything, but since it's a library book, I can't really do that. But I did have them bookmarked and everything, so I could write them down in a notebook instead, since I can't highlight them since it's a library book. And then the next one is The Truth According to Ember. This book really stressed me out so bad, because the whole concept of this book is that she's telling little lies, and you know they're going to come back and bite her in the butt, and you know it's going to lead to a third act breakup, and you know it's going to cause a lot of problems and strife that she could just easily have avoided, because half the lies in here, I don't know why she says them in the first place. And it just is the most stressed I think I've ever been reading a book. It is very well written. I will say, well, not very well written. It is well written, and so I have been enjoying that. And I do enjoy a slightly different viewpoint for romance novels, since all the main characters are Native American. So that's a nice, refreshing take. But my gosh, the lying. I know it's the whole concept of the book, so I knew that going into it. But I also knew that meant that was going to be driving the story, so I knew that was going to cause problems for her in the future. And I knew it was going to be the main conflict of the book, and I was just dreading it the whole time. It's when you're watching a movie and you got a spoiler that the main character dies or something, or some character you really like dies. It's like that. You can't enjoy the movie as much because you know it's going to happen. I keep saying what the book's about, but I haven't actually read the back for you. Ember Lee Cardinal has not always been a liar. Well, not for anything that counted, at least. But her job search is not going great, and when her resume is rejected for the 37th time, she takes matters into her own hands. She gets creative in listing her qualifications and answers this as a neat question on application with a lie. A half-lie, technically. No one wanted Native American Ember, but white Ember just landed her dream accounting job on Park Avenue, Oklahoma City, that is. Accountant Amber thrives in corporate life, and her love life seems to be looking up as well, as Donowa Coulson, the IT guy, and fellow native who caught her eye on her first day, seems to actually be interested in her too. Despite her unease over the no dating policy at work, they start to see each other secretly, which somehow makes it even hotter. But when they're caught in a compromising position on a work trip, a scheming colleague blackmails Ember, threatening to expose their relationship. As manipulation continues to grow, so do Ember's lies, so she must take the hard decision and either stay silent or finally tell the truth, which could cost her everything. So I knew going into this was gonna all her lies that she was telling throughout the book are gonna come back and bite her in the butt, but it was just the stress of it and knowing it's coming and knowing that ball's gonna drop that just kept me from really enjoying this book a whole lot. I know there's gonna be a sequel, and I will pick up that one because I did like the author, I like the story and everything, and my main issue was the plot, I guess. I mean, that's what the plot point or plot devices, I guess you should say, which is not going to be in the second one, so I think I will pick up the second one. So the last book I read this month, I literally just finished it last night, and that's The Wedding Witch, which is the third in a series about 3 magical brothers who fall in love. The series is called Graves Glen or something like that, or it's the name of the town. But like this book doesn't take place in that town like at all. So I feel like the series should be called like Penhollow, which is the last name of the 3 brothers that each book is around. I think that would be more fitting. Yeah, the series name is kind of confusing, but whatever. But yeah, so this is the 3rd book in the series. I think this is gonna be the last one because they're all out of brothers. And this one follows Bowen Penhollow, and the female main character is, I just call her Tam in my head because I was like, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's Tamsin, I think is how you pronounce it. Once again, there's a lot going on in this book, I will admit, but like, I'm fine with it. The author does something with everything pretty much that goes on, so I will allow it. Gosh, it's kind of hard to summarize this book because there was so much going on. But I really enjoyed this one. It's a nice Christmas read that I did because what it is, it's about the male main character is trying to break a spell or something that happened to a friend of his back in college. And he hires the female main character to help him find magical artifacts and everything like that. She's a human who does this for like a living or whatever, and then they get to know each other and they fall in love. And the beginning of the book is them them going from strangers to friends pretty well, and then like kind of lovers, like they kind of like each other, but they're both like have their reasons for not wanting to get together. And then they both find themselves at this wedding around Yule, which is like Christmas time. That's like in a magical castle and everything, and something happens where they get transported back in time and they have to figure out how to get back together and everything. And this whole time, like they're getting to know each other and they're falling in love and everything, and it's a really sweet story. But I really enjoyed this a lot. The only thing that kept this from being a 5-star read for me is how the resolution of how they came back into the present day. I really can't explain too much without doing spoilers or whatever, but it makes no sense at all, and they don't even try to explain anything, and that was really annoying. It was kind of anticlimactic in a way, where like you're building up for this, and then it's just nothing. So it's kind of annoying. But honestly, the whole rest of the book is good enough where I was like, okay, it's not gonna demote it too much. It was just, that was kind of annoying. I really can't say too much about it without giving spoilers. So spoiler warning. If you do not want spoilers for this book, just skip this part. Just skip this part. Basically, the explanation is when everything gets resolved, the explanation is just, oh, magic is mysterious. Who knows? I'm like, that's not an explanation at all. Like I understand that's probably how it would work in real life. I guess it's just for a book, you gotta do better than that. You know, you gotta do better than that. The brooch that they use to get back in time, for some reason, also brings back Bowen's friend from college. Doesn't explain why that works. Makes no sense. And then the little girl that gets trapped in the house or whatever, when she comes back, she's an old lady. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And like, I can kind of like excuse it away if it were like, oh, they all just reappeared at the same time or something like that. But no, it's as an alternate timeline kind of thing, which makes even less sense in the context. And it made no sense. No sense at all. That was annoying. Okay, spoiler rant over. Back to the main plot. But despite all the annoying things, I did really enjoy this a lot. I binge read this pretty quickly. I really did enjoy this a lot. And also, like, you know, I don't know why, but when it's a holiday book or holiday movie, I'm a little more lenient on mistakes that I would probably penalize a normal book a little more for. So that's my December reading wrap up. If you have any recommendations, please send them my way. I love them. I don't care how long my TBR is. Book recs are always welcomed. If you like this video, please like and comment. If you want to see more like it, please hit that subscribe button. Bye!